Welcome viewers to another video from Learning for Knowledge. As we all know that during pandemic educational studies were unable to be completed. So many students were unable to complete the studies. So we, Learning for Knowledge, are giving out free online mathematics online classes on the platform YouTube. So this class is suitable for grade 6 and grade 7. So please watch the video till the end and let's begin. Our topic for today is primes. I know that the first question that comes to your mind will be, what exactly are primes? I will be explaining them in subtopics. There are primes and composite number, prime factors, square root, and last but not the least, cube root. Okay, now let's start with prime and composite number. Now what is a prime number? Actually, a prime number is a whole number that has exactly two different factors, 1 and the number itself. For example, take 2. 2 has only two factors, 1 and 2 itself. So 2 will be considered a prime number. Example 3. The only factors of 3 are 1 and 3 itself. So 3 will be also considered as a prime number. So will be 5, 7 and 11, 13 and so on. Okay, now what is a prime number? A composite number. A composite number is a number that has more than two different factors. Example, take 9. 9 has more than two factors. For example, 9 has a factor 3, 1 and 9 itself. So, as there are more than 2, it will be considered as a composite number. Now, more examples of composite number are 15. 15 can be divided by 5 and 3. So both 3 and 5 are factors of 15. And 15 itself is a factor of itself, and so is 1. So 15 will be considered as a composite number, and so will be 18, 12, 16 and so on. Okay, now let's have a test for prime numbers to see that the prime and composite numbers are clarified or not. Okay viewers, now you have to tell me whether each of the following is a prime or a composite number. You may figure it out on a rough copy or another copy, or you must watch the video and see the solution in the next slide. Okay, so I'll tell you the solution. Now viewers, please feel free to pause the video now and look at the solution closely while I move on. Now consider a composite number. Example 18. As 18 is an even number, it will be also considered as an composite number. We can express 18 as a product of its prime factors. And prime factors are factors which are prime number. Like 18 has a factor 2, has factor 3 and many more. So both 2 and 3 are prime numbers. So 2 and 3 are the prime factors of 18. So 18 will be equal to 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. We say that 2 and 3 are prime factors of 18. The process of expressing 18 as a product of its prime factor is called the prime factorization of 18. Okay, now in prime factorization, we always draw a table. with a midline in between. On the right section, we write the number which has to be prime factorized, and on the left box we have to write the smallest prime factor that will be divided by 60. As 60 is an even number, the smallest factor will be 2. Okay, so we divide 60 by 2 to get the next answer 30. Then when we divide 30 by 2, we will be left with 15. And as 15 can't be divided by 2, 15 can be divided by 3. So we divide 15 by 3 and then we get 5. And as 5 cannot be divided by 3, we will move on to the next prime number on the list, that is 5. And as 5 can be divided by 5, we will have the 1 remaining. So the point is to always divide and divide. We should keep dividing until we obtain 1. So this is how prime factorization is done. Okay, square roots. Consider, students, if we are given a square with an area of 25 centimeters square. The length of its side is square root upon 25 equals 5 centimeters. We say that the square root of 25 is 5. This is the method of finding the square. If we write a number 5 square, it will be equal to 5 multiplied by 5. And if we multiply 5 by 5, we will get 25. So we can say that 5 square equals to 25. So this 2 arrows shows that 5 square equals to 25. Now I will show you the way how we can find the square root of a perfect square by using prime factorization. Okay, students, we will always start by doing the prime factorization of the specific number. In this case, we have to find the square root of 324. So we will first make a table and divide 324 by the smallest prime factor suitable for it, which is 2. When we divide 324 by 2, we will be left with 162, which again can be divided by 2, which will result in 81. Now 81 can be divided by 3 because it is the second prime number, as 2 cannot divide 21. When we divide 81 by 3, we will get 27. And when 27 gets divided by 3, we will left with 9. And when 9 has been divided by 3, we will be remaining with 3, which will be divided by itself 3. And we will be left with 1 remainder. Okay, now we will write 324 equals to all of its prime factors. That are 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. Now we will arrange them into 2 equal groups. As you can see, there are 4 3s and 2 2s. So in each group there will be 2 3s and 1 2. So when we have divided into 2 equal groups, you will notice that when we multiply 2 equal numbers, it can be also written as squared. So we will take 1 in bracket and we will square it, which will be equal to 2 brackets. Okay, now so we will all write 324 under square root equals to 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 squared under square root. Now the value of the square root is always 1 upon 2, and the value of the bracket is 2 as it is squared. So when we divide 1 upon 2, multiply by 2, the 2 2's will be cut by each other. So we will be remaining with 1. And if the bracket's value is 1, its value will equal to 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. So the bracket would be removed. So the answer would be 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. And when we simplify the answer, it will result in 18. So we can say that the square root of 324 equals 18. Now, if we're given a cube with a volume of 125 centimeter cube, the length of its side is 125 under cube root. We say cube root because, as you can see, there is a power of the 3 of the cube root. So we will call it the cube root, which will be equals to 125 under square root equals 5 centimeter. We say that the cube root of 125 is 5. Now these arrows show that 5 square equals to 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5, which will be equals to 125. Now these arrows show you the formula of cube. Okay, now I will show you the way how we can find the cube root of a perfect cube by using prime factorization. Okay, as always, we draw a table and prime factorize the number. After prime factorization, we will write the number will equal to all its prime factors. So in this case, 216 equals to 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. Okay, so in this case, when we are finding the cube root, we will arrange all the prime numbers into 3 equal groups. Yes, as we learned that if we multiply 3 equal numbers or groups, they will be also written as one group of the power of 3, or 2 multiplied by 3 cubed. Okay, now we will write 216 under cube root, that will be equal to 2 multiplied by 3 cubed under the cube root. In square root, the power of the square root is 1 upon 2. But in cube root, the power of the cube root is 1 upon 3. So when we multiply 1 upon 3 by 3, the 2 3's will cut each other, and we will be left with 1 of the power of the bracket, so which will be equal to 2 multiplied by 3. And when we simplify it, we will get the answer 6. Okay students, this is the end of the lesson. I hope you find my video useful. Please like and share my videos and subscribe to my channel. And I'd like to add that you can comment any topic you are finding difficult, and I will try my best to clarify the topic in my videos. Goodbye.